Hi, this is Barry Coombs from ComputerWorld. Wanted to have a look into the Microsoft Enterprise Mobility Suite, also known as EMS, that we've spoken about in some of the other videos, and how it's a great companion to go alongside your Office 365 deployment. We're going to have a look at some of the features today. We're not going to look at all of them, just some of the ones that stood out to me when I was going through the suite of products. So we're going to start off just by having a look at actually what's included inside the Enterprise Mobility Suite. So the Enterprise Mobility Suite focuses around protecting your data, allowing ways for your users to manage their identity across many different cloud applications, protecting devices and applications, allowing you to secure your corporate data, no matter whether it's on a device that you own or whether it's out there on another device or somewhere else in the cloud or within another organization. There are also another amount of other applications in there that give you additional functionality to allow you to be able to automate IT tasks that may cause you problems on your help desk. So we're just having a look at the Microsoft website here around Enterprise Mobility. I'm just going to go and have a look at some of the products that are included. So at the top here. So we can see the products listed as we come down here. So we've got Microsoft Advanced Threat Analytics. This is a product that you can install on-premise that allows you to really get deep as to what's going on into your environment and the problems that could be caused inside your environment. We've got Azure Active Directory Premium. This is the premium product that is available against the standard version that give you a number of additional features around application management, alerting, security, which we're going to dig into a little bit deeper. We've got Intune, which is the mobile device management product that allows you to manage Android devices, Windows Phone devices, or maybe iOS devices to control the applications or what can be done or what's happening with your data on those devices. We then have Azure Rights Management that you can use to protect your documents, as we mentioned earlier, wrapping a security layer around them, an encryption layer. And it does work very well alongside Azure Remote App for publishing applications from the cloud. And we've got Microsoft Identity Manager there as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to dig into a few of those features. So I'm going to start off just by going to the application launcher. I'm logged in as an administrator now, and I'm just going to click the admin tile down the bottom here. There are a number of different dashboards inside Office 365, and trying to find some of these features inside EMS. EMS is a package of products and not a product in its own right. Can be quite difficult, but if you expand the admin centers down the bottom here, you will find links to many of those elements down here. So this is always a really good place to start. So I'm just going to switch over now to Azure Active Directory Premium, and we're going to have a look at a couple of the entries here. So one I wanted to start looking at was the reports. If you click the reports tab on the top there, you get a number of reports that you can filter down to understand what's going on in your environment, which users may be compromised with a security risk. So we've got the anonymous activity reports here. We can see sign-ins from unknown sources, or maybe sign-ins from geographical locations that don't make sense. For example, a user signing in from Bristol 1 minute and 5 minutes later signing in from New York. Clearly that isn't something that the user has been able to do, so maybe they've shared their credentials, or maybe someone has been able to compromise their account. So it's useful to be able to know that kind of information. We've also got sign-ins from IP addresses with suspicious activity associated with them, a regular sign-in activity, activity reports in terms of password reset activity, self-service group activity, so who's been creating groups using the features of Azure AD Premium. Looking then down to the application reports, right management reports, and external access. So this is a really good collection of reports that allows you as an IT administrator to gain control as to what's going on in your environment, and also maybe look at where you need to be applying enhanced security measures on a per user basis. Something like the multi-form factor authentication. If you can see a user is constantly getting failed login attempts, or they've got some kind of suspicious activity going, maybe it's a good user to go in and find and enable multi-form factor authentication with. We can also come and have a look at the applications at the top here. Remember I mentioned that you were able to add applications in terms of single sign-on. So in the world that we live in today, when we're looking to enable cloud applications for our employees, it can become very difficult as to how do you manage the authentication for all of those different applications. As you can see here, we've got a number of different applications that are a part of Office 365, like Exchange Online, like Yammer, but I've also got Twitter as an application that I've added to allow my users to single sign in with Twitter. If I click Add down the bottom here, we can see the various different applications that we could add as a benefit to our users. We can develop our own application, or we can publish an application that will be accessible from outside of our network, but I wanted to concentrate on the gallery of applications that was available. These are the cloud applications that we are able to integrate with to make it easy for our users to be able to manage authentication and to give us some security and control. We can see that there's a massive 2,588 applications available here. As we scroll down, we could check the application that we wanted to add, and we can very easily go and then configure the settings. We'll go and have a look at how that looks from a user perspective in a minute. We're then going to come on to the modern Microsoft Azure dashboard, and we're going to look at Azure AD Cloud App Discovery. We have a big problem today in terms of shadow IT. That's the users are going out there and using cloud applications without the authorization from IT, but importantly without the control from IT. So what we can see here is the activity that is taking place on our employee-owned laptops, on our corporate-owned laptops. We've put a small agent on it that is watching the activity that happened. It's then reporting back to us which cloud applications are being utilized. So I'm just choosing the option there from one of the days, and it's now going to filter out the applications. We can see all of the applications where the PC, the device, has been talking to the internet, and it's identified there's a cloud application being utilized. So if I go right to the top here, I can see that Dropbox for Business is being used on free users' machines or accounts, and it's sending 1.6 gigabytes worth of data to the internet. That could be a real security risk for my business. So I need to understand that, maybe I need to control that, but most importantly I need to enable my users to be able to use maybe OneDrive for Business as an alternative that IT can manage. Just going to come and have a look now from a user's perspective, but before we do that we're just going to go and have a look at Intune. So I'm now in the Microsoft Intune dashboard. This is all about managing those mobile devices or maybe Windows 10 devices and controlling the security settings, the control around them, what can be accessed onto them, and maybe what applications are installed upon them. I get a really nice dashboard here giving me an overview as to what's going on. We can see that I've only got 2 devices managed in this demo environment, one iPhone and one Android device. And I have a number of options down on the left hand side to report what's going on, report any issues. We can see I've got 0 device health issues and 0 alerts at the moment here. So this is a good place to come to and just check to make sure everything's healthy and we're in good working order. So inside of policies, this is where we manage the control onto our devices, what the users are and aren't going to be able to do. We can see the elements down on the left hand side. We can add a policy on the right hand side here. So I'm just going to come down and look at configuration policies. We can see that I've got 2 policies here, and I'm just going to edit one of these policies to show you the granular levels of control that we've got over the devices that are going to be assigned this policy. So we're coming down here, we've got settings about password, about the system, about cloud. So in this example, back up to iCloud, should we allow that? Should it be configured? Applications such as the browser applications and many more. We can also change that for device capabilities. So we're looking about, is the camera configured? Is the camera able to be used? As well as a number of other services on here. So it's quite robust, and we can apply that to, as we mentioned, Microsoft Windows devices, Android devices, or Apple devices. We've also got applications available in here. So if I come down and click apps, we can see that I've configured 2 apps to be made available to my employees' devices. I've got the Sky News app and I've got the Microsoft Outlook application. From here we're able to configure those applications, set whether they're employee installed or we're going to install them, and then push that setting down to the employee-owned devices. So we're now going to have a look how some of these features look from an employee's perspective. So I'm going to log into a fresh browser session, and I'm going to log in as one of my employees that's been configured to use some of these features inside of EMS along with Office 365. So I'm just going to browse to office.com. And from there, I am going to choose to sign in, like we've done before. So I'm going to log in as Megan. I'm just going to type her password in. Obviously, she shouldn't have told me this, but this is only a demo. I'm going to click sign in, and this user has been configured for multi-form factor authentication. So what you can see here is that user is going to be sent a verification code for them to log into their mobile device. So we can see the employee's mobile device here, and we can see that Microsoft has sent through a code, and this time it's 444036. So I'm simply going to add that, click sign in, and that will then sign me in to office.com. So that was really easy to configure from an administration perspective. We enabled a tick on the users box. From a user perspective, they simply receive the code, and then they enter that in. There's no need for a separate dongle or anything else around that. We're also now just going to have a look at how the single sign-in may work. So if I go to myapps.microsoft.com, this is the launcher where we're able to access many of those cloud applications that we've used for single sign-on. So I can see that I've got SharePoint Online and Exchange Online available here, but I want to add Twitter. I want to use Twitter in this environment. So as an administrator, I've already allowed the users to use that, and I've configured Twitter. As the user now, I'm selecting Twitter and I'm selecting add. So as we can now see, we now have the Twitter icon available to us, and we can simply click this icon and then get signed straight into Twitter. The first time we do this, it will remember our credentials inside Identity Management, and then afterwards we will not need to remember those credentials again. So it makes it very easy for the user to be able to just come to one central location, access their applications, get single sign-on to allow the IT to control what goes on in that environment. So those were just a very small amount of the features inside EMS. We didn't look at some of the more advanced features like the Azure Rights Management features or the threat analytics. So we'll come back and have a look at those in another video, but hopefully you can see from those features some of the value that EMS could provide to your environment.